Have you ever noticed, no matter how many hours, weeks, months that you've been researching narcissism and how doomed your relationship with the narcissist is, nothing you've applied to your relationship or your situation has helped? That's because narcissists are very good psychologists and they understand our mentality very well, though they do not possess the same frame of mind. They're also highly attuned to our emotional vulnerabilities, our empathetic nature, and our overly forgiving nature. Because they know that we typically give everyone the benefit of the doubt, they intentionally mix in some good times with all of their other deplorable abuse in order to keep us believing that there is a tiny bit of hope to fix them and the relationship we have with them that we cherish so much. However, the reality is that they have no plans to change. Any semblance of change is purely a temporary act to keep you believing that there is a possibility to salvage your relationship because you want, more than anything, for them to go back to the person they were at the beginning of the relationship. So, is your partner a narcissist? I would imagine that you've already checked the criteria, done the research, and spent countless hours trying to get as much information as you can. You've already determined that your partner or family member is in fact a narcissist, which is why you're here. Or maybe while doing all that research and performing your own analysis of your partner, you've found that they only meet some of the criteria. That makes them a little safer in your relationship, right? There is a distinct danger in assuming that if your partner doesn't meet all the criteria for a particular personality disorder, or only a few of the traits, that they are somehow safer to be in a relationship with. I can tell you with absolute certainty that it only takes a few pathological traits of a narcissist to completely destroy another person's life. There are people in the world who possess levels of narcissism that are deeply harmful, even deadly, to those they are in a relationship with. These are the people who could be, or perhaps have been, diagnosed as having antisocial, sociopathic, psychopathic, narcissistic, or borderline personalities. Even more alarming is the fact that these personality disorders often overlap, which means that if a person is a narcissist, there's also a high chance that they have another disorder coexisting with their narcissism. Even more concerning than that is that many therapists tell their clients to leave, explain the danger they are in, show them the devastating effects the long-term stress that the relationship is causing, and those people still couldn't bring themselves to accept that their partners wouldn't change. This alone points to the disturbing fact that narcissists are extremely good actors. Even experts and pioneers in the field of narcissism are fooled by them. This explains why narcissistic abuse is our nation's #1 health crisis. Leaving a narcissistic partner may seem overwhelming, and honestly it is. It's one of the hardest things you will ever have to do in your life. But there's one thing you can do to begin making that task somewhat easier. Narcissists live in a complexly different realm than we do, which explains why we can never make sense of their behaviors and motives. And we never will, unless we can get into the mind of the narcissist. We have to think like they do, plot like they do. And it doesn't feel good to people like you and I. Once I finally accepted that the man I'd loved for over 9 years was a narcissist, and I mean truly accepted it, I began to see our history together and his motives with crystal clarity. The sooner you realize that you can't understand why your partner does certain things, the closer you'll be to accepting the need to detach from them. Not only will you finally realize that their behavior makes absolutely no sense in your mind, you'll see that any future research into this disorder is pointless, thereby freeing you from the obsessive compulsion to spend all of your energy trying to figure them out. There are no unknown loopholes, no rare cases of divine transformations that your partner might be capable of, no reverse psychology schemes, no unconditional love revolutions, and no bargaining situations that will ever make your partner or your relationship change. Yes, that includes your partner. Don't feel bad. We all hope that somehow, some way, we will be the miraculous exception to the rule. But whether you remain one day or one decade with a narcissist, the end result will be the same. Though I would strongly advise against waiting another 10 years. People who do tend to become very ill. Some develop psychological illnesses, some develop physical diseases such as cancer, and others don't make it at all. Let go of the why. The why actually lies within you, why you stay and why you keep being pulled back to them like a balloon to static electricity. I personally have been through cancer 3 times. Now, do I think it was caused by being with a narcissist? Not the first time, because it was only a year into our relationship and things were still great. But the second and third time were right in the midst of me finding out and right in the midst of realizing the abuse cycle, but I was unable to leave. So I want to make sure that you don't make the same mistake I did. Don't wait another 10 years. They're never going to change and you're never going to understand. But you should be thankful that you will never understand their way of thinking, because I can tell you it's a horrible, horrible place to be.